Welcome to the Voice of Oneness podcast. I am your host, Aumara Satya. On this podcast, we are committed to presenting oneness teachings to assist you in developing a deeper understanding of your true nature and your life purpose. Before we begin, we welcome each listener to this podcast. We appreciate your questions and ask you to place them in the chat or send them to Aumara at askaumara.com. As once we begin speaking, I do not pay attention to the chat as it disrupts the continuity necessary for me to bring forth the information to share on this podcast. I thank you in advance for your understanding and ask you once again to place the questions in the chat or email to Aumara at askaumara.com, and I'll answer the questions either at the end of this broadcast or via email. Thank you for your understanding. Now we begin with the Voice of Oneness. Welcome to the Voice of Oneness. This is the voice that resides within all of us. We are the team of excellence and collective group of many different non-physical beings from multiple universes. Our collective consists of energies that have experienced previous incarnations on Earth, as well as beings from other star systems. We are united in our purpose to serve the planet by sharing the teachings of oneness for the greater good of all. To fulfill this mission, we have joined forces with the individual channel known as Aumara Satya Ra. This name she bears means eternal truth in light. She was among the original teachers of oneness, originating from the land once called Mu and later known as Lemuria. This channel was one of the elders who arrived on the planet to settle and pave the way for others, continuing to teach oneness and then and now. Today we collaborate with her to help bring forth the teachings of oneness for everyone. Earth is currently undergoing significant changes, accelerating its frequency and continuing to shift and vibrate faster than ever before. These conditions create an opportune time for self-discovery and learning, such as answering questions: where do you come from? What keeps you here? Where exactly is here? What is your purpose? Why do you do what you do? And how did you become who you are today, among many other questions. To assist you in finding answers to these questions and many more, let us start by providing a foundational definition of oneness, which will serve as an introduction upon which we will build. Much has been written and taught by today's spiritual teachers about the law of attraction, an important principle for the understanding of proper usage. However, before delving into this law, one must first look to oneness. Oneness is supreme. It serves as the foundational basis which everything is constructed upon. It embodies truth and is the guiding principle in all things. Oneness represents the interconnectedness of all entities and governs all existence. By its very nature, it defines the essence and unity of all things. The creator and the created are inherently one. And this truth leaves no room for separation. Oneness gives rise to all other universal laws. Without it, no other laws would exist. Understanding the principles of the law of one allows each individual to embrace their true essence and claim their rightful place within the universe. It is where true self understanding begins. Our mission is to assist everyone in returning to their oneness. We will present our teachings on this broadcast for all to access, including channelings and daily messages. Questions related to the teachings of oneness may be submitted via email and will be answered based on the availability of those involved in this transformative process. It is with great pleasure that we offer these teachings to all. Blessings of oneness for all. And now, before we begin with our episode for today, let us consciously connect to our heart center, knowing that where we place our attention is where our energy flows. So we want to place our attention at the heart center by placing our hands there now. And take a deep breath in, breathing in through the nose. Breathe in. Holding that breath. Feeling the energy within your heart as it expands. And releasing that breath out through the mouth. Taking another nice deep breath in through the nose. Feeling the lungs as they fill and the heart as it expands. Release the breath. Take one more nice deep breath in. Hold. Tension at the heart as it expands. You are right here, right now, and all is well. Release the breath and relax. That joins us in receptivity and grounds us. And now that we're grounded, we can begin this episode with a daily whisper from the team of oneness, and then see what follows. Daily Whisper, June 14th, 2024. Messages from the heart of spirit to your heart. Remember, know this: no one or no thing ever holds power over you unless you say so. There is no force outside of you that has power over you once you truly realize that you create your reality through your thoughts and beliefs. When one comes to this grand understanding, the door of heaven is open, and one begins to live one's life in heaven while on earth, returning to the true source within oneself of all of creation. We call this source God, the infinite creative intelligence in all, always. And that concludes the Daily Whisper message. And as we receive these daily messages, it's to sit with them for a moment, to breathe it in, and contemplate what has been offered. That no one or no thing holds power over us unless we say so, unless we give our power away. No one's perception of us, no one's opinion of us, no one's design for what we should be doing holds power over us unless we say so. And we say so by believing that someone else can control us. Someone else holds power over what we do, say, and think. And that's very much at this time in this earthly experience a very common belief that there's a force, a power over us, controlling us. And while this does create much confusion and fear, it need not be so. For there is a power, there is a force, but that power and force only holds power that is given to it by us. It cannot take from us unless we willingly give it away. So when we come to this understanding that no thing or no one holds power over us, the fear that we hold begins to lessen when we realize that the true power is within us. Our thoughts form beliefs, and our beliefs then create our life experience. As we are energy, and all in life, all of creation is energy, the energy moves. It has a movement to it, has a frequency, a measurable vibration. And this measurable vibration acts as the force of attraction. Like vibration attracts like vibration. Vibration that is not alike will repel. So when we become empowered and we understand the concept that our thoughts form beliefs that create our reality, and we begin to experience what we believe, understanding that it is the result of the energy we put forth in our personal vibration, that then attracts to us the experience. We realize that the power is within us and not from outside of us. And we realize that if there is a force or a person that is trying to assert a force of influence upon us, all we simply need do is turn away. Not now, not here, not at any time do you need to listen to any other outside of the voice within you. And this is very critical at our time of which we are experiencing great uncertainty on the planet. And there's a lot of energy and a lot of information moving about of people's opinions and perceptions and beliefs. And everyone has the right to their own, but no one has the right to project theirs onto anyone or anything. So when one does, whether intentionally or unintentionally, when it's met with the force from one who knows that they hold the power to choose, and they choose based on their own desired outcome, it rejects that energy that's being projected to them and it's repelled because the person who, as it says, the door of heaven opens, realizes who they are in truth. Now, one with that which created us. We are all connected in oneness. We are all part of the Creator, having an experience here on the planet, learning that we are creators. We are co creating with the energy of which we are, with the creative intelligence, with the God presence. When we're doing so consciously with awareness, we're choosing, we're making a choice. We're making a choice. And when we've got a lot of fear circulating around us, fear of what may happen in our systems, let us say a monetary system, our governments, and we're fearing because we're believing that this is something outside of ourselves that we have no control over, but yet will be impacted by the decisions made within those systems. And then we start to feel out of control, and for some, perhaps helpless. And that is not necessary. Once we awaken to, we hold the power. No one or no thing holds power over us ever. We decide with our own level of awareness, we're all at different levels of awareness. With our level of awareness, we decide what is right for us. So we can begin to take back our sense of power, knowing that it's within us and not outside of us. We get to reject that which is fearful and say, that's okay for someone else to believe or act upon. I choose differently. I choose love. I choose love. That is a choice, and that when we state it, we are claiming it to be our reality. The choice of love has a much higher vibration than the choice of fear. And what we said with the law of vibration, like attracts like. So into our life experience enters the expression of love. The expression of love, does that mean somebody will say, oh, that means everyone's going to be loving towards me, or everything in my world is suddenly going to go, and it's beautiful? Not exactly. What it means is that, that beauty resides within that heart that we connected to when we began. When we took the breaths in and we connected to that heart space, we put our focus there, our energy went there, and it starts to expand. And what that happens is we start to calm, we start to relax, we start to center. So when we are experiencing something in life, and I'll call it an off-balance energy, when someone or something tries to exert force and it is not aligned with what we are believing, we are then able to withstand that and not take that in and make it ours, which then results in our giving our power away. But we're able to recognize that that is discordant energy, and we let that just pass on by. We hold to the higher frequency. we hold to love. We choose love. It's our choice. It's our responsibility as awakening beings on the planet at this time. And that's what we're doing. We're all choosing. Some of us are making quite different choices. Some of us are choosing fear, and some of us are choosing love. It's up to each of us to stand in the recognition of our power within and make that choice. As we grow in our understanding of what is true for us. Which brings us to another point to make, and will be part of another broadcast, but we'll speak briefly on it here. Truth. So much information is exchanged in relationships as it is designed to be. Not to exert power over anyone or anything, but to awaken the power within. Awaken the power within, and we can say to you, if you reflect upon your own experiences, when you come up against energy of which is harsh and discordant, and you know in an instant it doesn't flow with love, you are discerning an untruth. Love is the only absolute truth. When all else falls away, love remains. This is not romantic love. This is the love of which you were created from, the love of which you are. That is the love of which we are speaking. That love is always alive inside of each and every being. Sometimes there are many overlays, we'll call it overlays or layers, placed upon the heart that makes that sounding of the love blocked or very, very, very difficult to connect to. But it's still there nonetheless. For others, they connect more easily, for they don't have the same experiences, and they're able to tune in and say, this does not feel right. This is not truth. But whether we've got a lot of layers on that make it difficult for us to discern, or we're able to tune in easily, the responsibility is the same for each and every one of us to discern what is truth. And as we begin to make choice of what it is we wish to experience, through the choosing is the claiming of our experience, we are able to tune into that love as layers begin to dissolve. When we are choosing love, we're choosing to open our heart. We may not fully understand something, but all we need do is crack a window, so to speak. It's just open up a little bit and say, what if? Or perhaps. Or maybe I will look into this. I will do some research. Or I'll listen to an opposing position, which going on in this world right now is the act of trying to shut down opposing positions, shut down our ability for critical thinking, our ability to say, oh, you do not believe the same as I believe. What led you to your belief? And I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to give you the courtesy and the respect. And then I will share what I believe. And then we can hold a discussion. And we can realize that your belief does not define you. And the opposing individual's belief does not define them. We're beings of love and light, having an experience at different levels of awareness. But we can never separate ourselves in the absolute truth of the oneness of which we are. We can be separated by misaligned thinking, by conditioning and programming to believe that we're separate. But eventually, not for everyone at the same time, but eventually, that gives way to the truth. And it begins to shift. So here right now on this planet, there's a lot of shifting going on. And we're all at different levels of awareness. And when we're at different levels of awareness, but we're not sovereign yet, we're not solid within our own understanding that we are truth, that we are one with the God that created us. We are one in the allness of creation. We can understand that as a concept, but it's not yet the embodiment. As we're living this experience now on the planet with the opportunity to embody it through right relationships, through coming together and having these discussions and not fearing somebody else because they have a different opinion, a different belief, a different color skin, a different identity. Because in truth, we are all one. We are different facets of one whole. So this is an opportunity for us on the planet, as we call it, old energies, old way of being, starts to break down, because it must break down. Why must it break down? Because it's not truth. Only truth survives. Absolute truth simply is. That's it. It needs nothing from us. It simply is. Truth is truth. That which is false needs us to maintain it, needs us to defend it, needs us to fight for it. That which is true, in absolute sense, needs nothing. It simply is. Just waiting for us to come home to it, to recognize that that truth is that which we are, which is divine love in action here on this planet, experiencing our individuated consciousness as part of a whole. So we've shared a lot today, and we appreciate any and all questions you may have. So once again, you may submit your questions to Aumara at askaumara.com. We will bring as many broadcasts to the world as possible. We'll try daily. And if we're unable, for whatever reason, to not speak daily, it'll be several times a week. Always with a different message, but yet the message is the same. It is of oneness. For that is where we remain, in oneness. We remain ever in oneness. We see your oneness. We know your oneness, and we love you more than you can imagine. We ask you at this time, this very challenging and troubling time on the planet, to be kind to yourself and to others as best you can. Do the best you can. For there's always the next moment. Do the best you can. Be loving, be kind, be open, and know that you are in the process of opening the door of heaven while on earth. We thank you for your time and for your ears this day. Blessings always, and love and light. Bye-bye.